Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another exciting session of Candid Mina, where we'll be discussing a lot of geopolitics in the session. We have once again Mr. Desh Kapoor here with us in the midst. He'll be giving you a lot of insights as to what is happening in the world of geopolitics. And so, Deshri, we see that ever since Trump has come to office, lot of ripples are being created in the the global economy, the global situation, the new world order, right, and many other situations. So so how do you see this? The point number one is that Modi is going to meet Trump very shortly, and there's a phone call which Modi and Trump recently had, and it was about the importance of India should buy more American-made security equipment and also move towards a fair bilateral trade with India. So a lot of things also about the immigration, the illegal immigrants. There are a lot of illegal Indian immigrants, and India should take back them. So many things are being discussed, among both of them, and soon they'll be meeting very shortly. So how do you see this relationship going forward? It's a very important relationship.
Right. And I think thanks for calling me again. And it's always great to talk to you, Jaydev and Aminaji. So about this Trump and Modi ji's relationship. So they both have respect for each other, and they both seem to get along very well. So that is a good thing. But having said that, that doesn't mean that any one of them will abandon their responsibility or even their aggression, in terms of geopolitics and diplomacy, right? So, see, from the Indian standpoint, the way Modi ji will look at different things is that Trump is here only for 4 years. After that, what? So, when you make decisions around things like arms and weaponry and all those things, now that needs to be a long-term solution. So you cannot have a situation where you buy some stuff from America and then they renege on that. They don't go forward later on. Like it has happened, recently, right? With the GE engines, also the same thing happened. Even earlier, throughout throughout India's history, the same thing has happened. So unless and until there is an ironclad kind of agreement that no party, no government will ever change that kind of an agreement, I don't think India will go completely towards US in any way, like in terms of the weaponry. And I don't think it should. Like I think the way India should go forward is the Atmanirbharta. If America is willing to give technology to India, which I think that is what India is really looking for, then it makes sense. But knowing Trump the way Trump is, I don't think he will agree to giving the technology to India and even working together with him, together with India. So in that sense, like weaponry is out. As far as the fair trade is concerned, like India can buy some weaponry, but it won't be extensively only US. So whatever stance we have will continue. In terms of the trade stuff, I think I am getting a little worried about the way Trump is proceeding ahead with the tariffs, because a lot of companies will just pass on the tariffs to the customer. The companies are discussing internally, what to do, how to actually proceed forward, because very few companies will absorb it. So when you do not have that kind of capacity within the US to make products, say even things like steel and other things like raw material that goes into construction and other things, If US right now does not have that kind of capacities, then putting tariffs on anything which comes from outside will just raise the inflation even further on for the middle class. So I like many years back I used to have a joke that I used to like tell my friends in India that 40% of my grocery bill is paid by the Communist Party of China, because they subsidize whatever is there they are making, and that is what Walmart and other stores buy, even Target and everybody else. So basically the CCP is paying part of my grocery bill. Now that won't happen if things start being manufactured in the US. So, but if the tariffs are raised, then that creates the problem. So, so by saying things so openly and by like putting that on the line for everyone across the board, what will happen is that different countries will start making their plans accordingly. Right now, for example, this H-1B and all that issue. Right now, if um, there are lawyers, legal experts in immigration in New York and other cities here who are actually saying that if you have a green card, we are asking you, we are suggesting that you go and get citizenship, because uh, over time naturalization, naturalized citizenship will become tougher in the US. So if these kind of things start happening, in terms of visa and green card and citizenship that people used to have, then what will happen is that people won't come here, but the jobs will go there. Right now, what is happening is that uh, because there won't be, if you do not have the right kind of skills and talent pool here, then what will happen is that the jobs will go where they have that talent and pool. So, so instead of the H-1Bs coming here, the AI jobs will actually go there, and they're to India. So, so either way, it is going to happen there. But if people do not come here, then the income that they're making, the homes that they're buying, the stuff they are consuming, that won't be done, which means the economy will go down, which is a bad thing. So, so those are things that need to be taken care of. Uh, but in terms of overall, a relationship that I see between both, I think over time, what is going to happen is that if we have already seen that the US aid stuff has been stopped. There are some Americans who feel, well, see, Trump has stopped the US aid contributions to India, and so all the Indians were so happy about Trump coming in, and now they have to face all that. And people who know are trying to make them understand that India never wanted USA to ever invest in India, because USAID is actually a front for CIA. It's a deep state organization. Now that deep state organization, when it tries to invest money in places like Bangladesh, that is what they are doing. They are trying to create their own proxies. So if they have stopped investing both in Bangladesh and India, then I think it is a fantastic step for India, which means that the subversion that was going on both within India and outside India for India will stop. So, so those are the good things, and he is making a lot of changes in terms of justice system. Today, there was a report saying that the Justice Department today was evacuated. People were out on the streets, and a lot of people have been let go, like in the judiciary, uh, the judicial group, right, the Department of Justice, and especially the people who actually collaborated and worked to to charge Trump. All that had happened was they wanted to create cases against him and attack him. So those are people who will be gone. That includes folks who were actually going after Adani as well. So, so, so that subversion of Justice Department that was being brought in by folks like Soros or the Democratic Party, that whole thing will stop, and that means a lot for good relationship between India and the US, because throughout past so many years, like whether it was that Preet Bharara or the latest one, Breon, like whatever his name was, these guys have in New York, like prosecutors, they've been trying to attack, like use their power to go after India or Indian citizens. So that will stop. So I think overall, I think it will be a both testy, waters, because Trump won't leave his thing, but in larger context, it will be good. But there are nuances that people need to take, think about. So we can't, paint everything in a blanket way that, oh, it's all good, it's all bad. Like, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah, I do remember that. Trump's main objective is to see America first, like in terms of strengthening the U.S. economy. That's his number one objective, from what I understand, at least. And you said that the issue of H-1B visas, and that Indians not investing in the U.S. state, it'll crash the real estate in USA. Also, you said. So there are a lot of implications in his policies, from what I understand. Right, he's trying to strengthen the U.S. economy, but there's a lot of side effects when the policies come into play.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, there's no like surefire approach in his policies as well, right? Like. I mean, you see that the US dollar can be saved
going forward.
Yeah,
I think. See, the thing is that so given how the world economy is right now, the de-dollarization stuff that now I know that Trump is saying anyone who tries to go for de-dollarization, like we will throw sanctions and tariffs and all these things at them. Now, the reason why de-dollarization became imperative was because the financial system was being weaponized. If the financial system is not weaponized, then that movement can stop or can slow down. Like, it won't stop, but it will slow down. Now, if you start issuing threats, about all these things, then it becomes worse. Then people are like, okay, so this is a risk. The way things work is in the larger world is companies and nations try to de-risk their own prosperity, their own ways, things that are happening with them. So when they see this as a risk, that okay, like US will try to threaten you if you try to actually go away from dollar, but if you remain with the dollar, they will like try to put sanctions, take away your money, and also throw you out of like whatever financial institution or framework that they want to throw you out. Now, until and unless there is trust built for US, this de-dollarization movement will not stop. Now, they are working along with Saudis right now. Saudis have said that we can invest $600 billion, within like in the US, and like that would be a good thing. That would be a kind of a win for for Trump. But in the same sense, Saudis are very clear that all this relationship is for 4 years. Now, after this, if the Democrats come back, or if any other Republican, dispensation comes in that is not aligned with the MAGA or with Trump, then things can get bad for them even then. Because just like he has brought 200 executive orders, the next guy can bring 400 executive orders. This drama can keep going on. So that trust in the system needs to happen. That trust is not there right now. People can issue some kind of pledges that we are going to do this and doing that, but over time, we'll see how much actually happens. Now, I voted for Trump. I supported him, but I am, I'm a realist. I have to look at things the way they are, and then look forward. So in that sense, if I see, saving the dollar is actually dependent upon saving the US economy itself. If the US economy is not saved, because the debt in the US economy is extremely high right now, I think the interest payments on the debt itself are actually over $1 trillion. They are more than the defense spending right now. 70% of the taxes actually go into the interest rates, the interest payment, on debt. So if that keeps going on, and they have utilized a lot of social security funds, Medicare funds and all that, whatever was given by all the American taxpayers has been used for that. So there is a problem there. If they are able, they were earlier talking about $2 trillion of saving. They have not been able to do that. They are now looking at $1 trillion. Now, if they can save that kind of $1 trillion on a going forward basis, create a system which does not have so much of corruption, or which does not have so much of leaks. If we can create that kind of system, then the dollar can be saved going forward. Otherwise, it will be just a matter of time. Maybe not now, maybe 2 years later, 3 years later, but it will be, if the fundamentals are not there, then things can go wrong.
Yeah, so I was just thinking with regards to the American exports, will they ask, maybe some countries to buy their petroleum or natural gas or, some weapons to boost the economy? You see that as a possibility?
Yes, absolutely. And that is why probably Trump wants India to actually commit to that. The arms and weapons, they come with their own baggage. Their own baggage is that when a country is spending billions of dollars or millions of dollars on just one piece of equipment, they want that to last sometimes even 2 decades. Some of the smaller countries, even India, until Modi ji came, our jets were very, very old. They were being refurbished every few years, but they were very old. Similarly, so it's a long-term investment, a very long-term investment. It's a very important investment that a country makes. They may do some investment, but they can't go full, because there is a lot of options out there. So I think that arms things may not work, but oil and gas, that can work if they can maintain the oil prices. I think that is what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to ask Saudis to bring down the price of oil. If they bring down the price of oil, then Russia does not make the profits that it does right now because of the prices being high. But if the prices come down, then the incentive for US to export oil and gas will go down. What will happen is it may not import as much because like it can generate from there. But as far as the exports are concerned, I think like I would say like they would go more in the direction of technology and services and things like that, like AI and things like that. If they can, make that happen. Because see, the thing is, most of the like right now, his team is full of tech folks. Whether it's Mark Zuckerberg or Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, uh, Elon Musk, everybody is there. So tech, exports are probably the most important exports that US can have. Apart from some of the other like services and things like that. So I think like that would be the more prominent one. Weapons. If he tries to stop the wars, which are the main reason why why those countries actually quote unquote buy their weapons, because that's what they do. They actually give them the weapons, but then they take the money on the back end. They take their resources and things like that. So if that happens, then it's a different thing. But I don't think he's trying to go into wars unless he provokes something in Greenland and Panama.
Yeah. So with regards to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is kind of being sidelined by Donald Trump, and apparently the latest is a new era in artificial intelligence has been dawned, and three tech giants in the pursuit for global dominance in AI have united for the cause, setting up the world's largest AI project called Stargate. But Elon Musk was not, he was not very favorable for this project, and apparently he's also not part of the Oval Office team, in spite of investing a huge sum of money of $277 million for Trump's campaign. So apparently, slowly we see Trump sidelining Elon Musk. So how do you see that being put into play?
So this, yeah. So whatever is happening on Stargate is very very important, right? And they have already promised like $500 billion into this. OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, and MGX. So they are the four companies which are doing that. They are saying they want to create data centers and energy resources across the US, because that is an important part that goes into this whole AI dominance, which people do not like fully understand. I think like apart from that, like one of the things that they will need is investment into the chips. Now, if he's threatening to put tariffs on Taiwan and TSMC, which makes the best, the most advanced, semiconductor chips for AI, then then they will need to actually create their own, because like otherwise it can be a big problem, right? And we have seen with coming in of the DeepSeek that um, China has been able to do more with the same kind of chips, NVIDIA chips, as US could do. Now, as far as the Stargate is concerned and Elon Musk's relationship is concerned, see, there was a very interesting interview that happened with NVIDIA chief CEO, and he was saying while the other companies take 1 year from the initiation, the planning stage to the final go live for a data center, like using NVIDIA chips, X and their team, Elon Musk's team, took 19 days. That is how good they were. So when Elon Musk says, so one of he has said a couple of things. One is that he said, well, they how much is their commitment? He doesn't know. As far as the funding is concerned, he said like together they can't bring that kind of funding, right? And then the other thing is, like, I think he he does not have a very high regard for OpenAI and their data, data centers and all that, because he feels he can do it much better. Uh, so there is, some kind of dichotomy, like, between how Trump wants to go ahead, and I think you're right that Trump wants to actually create an alternative to Elon Musk in terms of AI. So, which Elon Musk does not like, because that's where he also wants to go. As far as the changing of his, office is concerned, from the West Wing to the Eisenhower Executive Office building. That so that some people are actually downplaying. They are saying even Eisenhower Executive Building is very important, but then the point is that Elon Musk has been considering himself as if he's also the president. He's a co-president, which is a big problem when it comes to Trump, because Trump does not like any of these things. So, on the face of it, Trump is not saying anything to Elon Musk right now. But behind the scenes, his staffers are saying that they have had it enough. Like, if you trust the reports which are coming out. Now, it could be that some of it is just media made, some of it is real, because both are very high ego alpha males. So given that kind of situation, I can understand that they will be having issues. And one of the fallouts was Vivek Ramaswamy going out. So it was not just the MAGA crowd, which was anti-India, anti, like, H1B and all those things, but it was also Elon Musk who was trying to push him out. So if you look at the whole, like, situation, then I think, see, one thing we need to be very sure about, that this Trump's coalition that has come, it is better than the last one. The last time, the Trump 1.0, but it still has a lot of fault lines. If it does not mature fast enough, then others can actually work on those fault lines and create a lot of gaps, a lot of battle lines, which they really have to work against, actually. So Vivek Ramaswamy, exit showed one fault line. What is happening with Elon Musk is showing another fault line. Later on, when the legal battles start based on his executive orders, specifically those related to the this whole the visa thing, and the citizenship birthright and all those things, when those legal challenges start, that's when another fault line will come in. Because right now, a lot of Latinos who actually back Trump are already feeling the pressure, the heat. That, like, some are saying, "Oh, my spouse has been taken away, who was a Venezuelan, or somebody has been done." A lot of things that he said needs to happen, but needs to happen with some kind of care. Because if you start hacking at everything without care, then things can go wrong pretty soon if the opposite side also is working. And in that opposite side, like you don't know if, like, China could be part of that as well.
Right, absolutely. And also, what is very interesting is the US stock market. It was hugely affected by the DeepSeek app, right? Because DeepSeek is Chinese. And, obviously, the US tech giants, dominance was questioned, right, with this app.
I Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like that, the perception of,
Yeah.
US being at the helm of IT technology apps in the world, the leader, as a leader. So this, this simple DeepSeek app from China, it just, created a huge ripple.
Right. Yeah. So So the thing is, the reason why it actually created that ripple was one, that it was so efficient. They had really used the chips that they had, which were old ones, like not the latest ones, much more efficiently than OpenAI had used, and they had like better ways of training their models, like so that they could come up to speed. And they have launched their DeepSeek R1 for free, and it is already beating Open AI's Chat GPT, like version 4.0 in many ways. So, so one is that it has created all that for a fraction of the cost, and second, they have done it, without the access to so many advanced chips. That was like a big thing. But like, does that mean that it's the end of things for the American companies? No. Even Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia fell from like what 100, like 50, 140 to 110, 12, which doesn't make any sense, because it does not matter if somebody is actually using the chips more efficiently. The thing is, the chips are still being used, and they will be used. They will keep on being used going forward. So the whole reaction did not make any sense. What made sense is that a lot of the way I see this whole market crash with $1.5 trillion wiped out is that it was a Hindenburg done on US on steroids. So it is Hindenburg moment for the US. Like, you understand, because a lot of uh, hedge funds, a lot of people would have shorted, knowing that this is going to come. If like people knew like these things behind. I mean, if I was CCP and I had so many the companies out there, and I was linked to this DeepSeek, then I would have shorted the entire Nvidia and every tech stock big time, and made enough money so that I can fund the real estate bust that has happened with Evergrande and other companies in China itself. So won't I do that? If I was smart enough, I would have done that. Like if I was CCP. In fact, it is said that Nancy Pelosi had sold the Nvidia stocks worth millions just like 1.5 weeks back. How? How did
So
she
you
know?
see, sorry, do you see a connection between deep state and the CCP at this point of time?
Yes, I feel that there is some kind of a like some kind of collaboration, or some kind of like even like I would say influence of China in that deep state itself. So I think deep state really used this opportunity to make a lot of money in trillions of dollars, and billions and trillions, right? And uh, and on top of that, what has happened in the last couple of days, I don't know, like that has not really come out much. But if you go to the DeepSeek site, you'll see it. It says that there have been so many malicious attacks. There was actually a big cyber attack that they had to stop new registrations. Now, it may seem just normal, but think of it. If this attack on DeepSeek is linked to any of the Western countries, or any of the non state actors, or any of the corporate actors, whether it is in the tech sector or anywhere else, then that means it is actually a direct attack on China. So one, that will like create enough of justification for them to also do such things to the American companies. It can become like really bad very fast, but very soon. And I just hope to God that the origin of the cyber attack is not linked to any of the Western corporates or Western government or Western actors. Because if that is there, then it can create a big problem. Because going forward, like this can escalate like really big. Because uh, if we look at, people keep talking about the World War III scenario. If we look at World War III scenario, if there is actually a tech battle going back and forth, it can become very ugly. So especially in AI, this is a tool for dominance for the next 200, 300 years, or maybe 1,000 years now. So nobody wants to lose this battle. The only way is that everyone plays like with rules. If those rules are not there and it becomes a wild west, then we know that the Chinese, resources that they have, whether people, technology, whatever they have, are strong enough to actually take on the Western active, companies and products. So I don't think it'll be wise for any one of them to start attacking each other in that way. But I'm just worried about like what happened. So like while people were talking more about DeepSeek and what it is, how good it is. Yes, it is good. But it has important element of being related to the CCP and all these things, because when you ask about the Tiananmen Square, like it doesn't give that answer. So in that sense, if you look at it, that is not the most important thing. What has happened in its aftermath and the way people have behaved, that is very interesting, very damaging also. Because like think of it, if tomorrow India comes up with this kind of a thing, how will the reaction be towards them, towards an Indian product, both from China and the US? Because they would want to actually fight with each other and not have any third actor. But India needs to have its own product. So, so in that sense, if you really look at it, the situation right now is, very very undefined, very dangerous in a way. That's how I look at it.
And also, very interestingly, Bill Gates questioned Elon Musk that he's interfering in the elections of Europe, supporting far right people, to win the elections in Europe. So there's a clear divide between, the likes of Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and also Trump, George Soros and Elon Musk, like you have said earlier. So,
Right.
but right now, Trump is, sidelining Elon Musk a bit, I must say. So, I mean, a lot of the games are being played, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. So, no, what I'm trying to say is that because Trump is going after, the arms lobby, the pharmaceutical lobby, many lobbies, and so obviously they would want him out at any cost, right? And that's a huge threat.
Right. So I think what is, see, like I said, there are many fault lines in his own coalition. They are going to go for all the fault lines so that everyone who backed Trump is broken away. So if they are able to do that, then it is quite, see the kind of changes he has promised and the things that he is trying to bring together are quite big in terms of how it will impact the entrenched power structures, right? So like I keep talking about that the whole the deep state is actually a 5-tier system, right? So that 5-tier system is very important, like to understand, because like in that like system itself lies the whole structure and the way like it is approached by like different actors here. So in that, Soros and Elon Musk are not at the top. Somebody else is there at the top. Now, so if you do not respect that, then you try to create issues which can like become bigger. Like maybe, like if you are okay, I can just present like that thing. Like once, like I can just show you like what I mean by that. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'll just add it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So these are the five, you know, like tiers that I when I was writing, I came up with these five tier of the deep state structure and hierarchy. The tier one is the global elite. Tier two is the strategic think tanks and the secretive forums. They all work together. The global elite is basically Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and things like that. They are always, like we have discussed earlier, they are competing with each other at all the time, but they set the overarching global agendas, whether it's financial systems, wars, and resource controls, and things like that. And then comes the strategic think tanks, whether it is Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, Chatham House, and Club of Rome, or its secretive forums like Bilderberg Group, Roundtable groups, Skulls and Bones, and Freemasons. In Bilderberg Group, like whether it was Bill Clinton, Tony Blair, Angela Merkel, all these folks like became the head of their states after they had gone to Bilderberg conferences, after they had been invited there. So there is something that goes on, that there is some kind of a filtering that happens in these. So these secretive forums are there, and like if you look at 2023 agenda, India was there on that agenda. Like we can be very sure of why, because 2024 was the elections. So, and then if you look at the next tier three is the operational organizations, the United States, the United Nations, World Bank, and things like that. So they execute the policies, they create the public opinion, and they enforce the agenda on the larger things. And then come the national level actors, right? Whether bureaucracy, intelligence agencies, and media conglomerates. And then at the last level is the local influencers, like universities, NGOs, and things like that. So if you really look at George Soros and Elon Musk is trying to work here, but George Soros has worked at the tier 5, and in some cases even at tier 4, going up. So Soros also is trying to go up, and Elon Musk is also trying to move up the chain. Whether Elon Musk will be able to get to this stage and overpower them or challenge them is remains to be seen. But when people say, "Oh well, the deep state is dictating this, and deep state is doing," I think that's interesting. But we need to look at the nuance and the detail of it. Who in the deep state is really trying to do, and what level, what influence, do they have, right? They, whether so Rothschilds and Rockefellers want the control, but it's not as if like they'll give the control to each other. They will fight with each other, right, to get better and better. But they are the ones who are going to decide the future of different things, the agendas, the global agendas, and all that. That is how like people think, through Crown Council and Committee of 300, like that's what they say. So in that sense, if you really look at it now, Elon Musk and Soros are both fighting this battle, like at the tier 4, tier 5 level. One day they will, like one of them will succeed, but at the overall level, at the higher level, it's not like people are changing. The lower levels may be changing right now, but at the higher level, they are not changing. Now, when they say, when Trump says, "I want to, make changes in United Nations and World Economic Forum and World Bank, then he is trying to go for the tier three, like directly. But that still does not take away the hood, which is the tier one and tier two. So, so I think it's a pretty complicated thing. It's not that simple as people make it out to be. So, so that's what I'm trying to, suggest. So yes, Elon Musk may actually create his own version of the deep state influencing, which may be tier 4, tier 5, maybe in some cases even tier 3, but he's not there at tier 1 or 2 right now. And same for Soros. So I think like that is something that we need to kind of like understand going forward. So Trump will challenge tier 3 and down, and how successful he is, uh, like that will like ensure how the world can change. But the reason why so many external actors or external organizations outside of US, especially countries outside of US, were so happy backing Trump was this, that he can make a difference or change or challenge these tiers that nobody else can do. Europe is definitely aligned to all this, right? I mean, like Europe has been infiltrated so badly. Going forward, it'll be very, very tough to even work with Europe for US. That is going to be a reality.
So, like tier one and tier two, they don't like to see Trump in office. That's quite obvious.
The way I see it is that they will work with, they'll try and infiltrate the whatever organizations or whatever institutions that he creates that are replacing the existing ones. But like I think they are pretty flexible in the way they work with the different power centers and power dynamics. So yes, they have created their own institutions, their own power structures until now. But if they are going to change, they are going to work with them to go to the next level. AI is going to make a substantial difference in the way things go forward. Because if you really look at most of the investments that are happening in blockchain, I did a newsletter on AI blockchain singularity, on how both come together as a very powerful combination, AI and blockchain. Now, what they are trying to do is that if you really look at some of the most interesting investments and startups that have come up, you will see behind the scenes the investment has been done by 4 or 5 major actors: Bill Gates, Gates Foundation, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and Soros. Like we have Aadhaar and UPI in India, Gates was trying to get the Aadhaar framework, but he was unsuccessful because that was not provided. So he worked with IIT Kanpur to create that framework, an alternative for that framework called MOSIP, and then MOSIP. Like people can Google and find out how. And now he's investing in something called Moja Loop, which has interoperability, something like UPI has. So a combination of MOSIP and Moja Loop, which in both Gates is investing, that can create a very powerful tool. XRP, for example, like another blockchain, can be is being touted as the alternative to SWIFT, the financial systems that work on, right? So, so they are looking at how the world is changing, and they are changing their own, investments going forward. That's how it is working.
Yeah. So, Desh, we will conclude with this last point, and it has been a very, very interesting, informative session. And we will, once again, see you next week, hopefully. And until then, Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram.